Hello everyone, Warren here again. Today we're in downtown Kennesaw. Just going to take a walk around the town, see some of the sights, and see what makes this town in Georgia unique. And first thing is I'm standing in front of this artwork here that looks very cool. Of course, there's a lot of history in Kennesaw, especially when it comes to the Civil War. So of course there's a museum here, which we'll cover more in a future video, that has the general, if you've ever heard of the Great Locomotive Chase, that's covered here, and they actually have the general engine in that museum. So again, lots of history here, and hope you join me as we take a look around. So as I was just saying, the general in the general being the name of this train here, is actually part of the Great Locomotive Chase in the Civil War, where some Union soldiers came down in an attempt to steal one of the trains and, of course, tear up the train track. Definitely an interesting story. It's been made into at least one movie. Recommend checking that out, at least the story, if you've never heard it before. Definitely one of the more interesting tales from that time period. And again, more artwork covering the Great Locomotive Chase. Then over here we have some artwork. Of course, Kennesaw, also known as Big Shanty. This is some historical photographs of the area. One of my favorite features, and it looks like they've updated it since the last time I was here, is this tunnel you can walk through. Like I said, kind of a train theme. So, of course, tunnels, why not? And it looks like they added these cool lights. I love to see this at nighttime. But you can see they have all this, these changing or color changing lights in here. For a while, they actually had this closed off because they were doing construction on a town amphitheater up here, which we'll take a look at as well. And when we emerge from the tunnel, we are greeted with some more artwork on the timeline of the Great Locomotive Chase. And then you see over here, you have this little, this isn't the amphitheater I was talking about, but you could tell this is here, maybe school groups, or if there's any kind of guided tours, definitely some stadium seating here. Maybe for some talks, or, like I said, some sort of tour that may be offered. So we continue up the ramps here. We have more details on the Great Locomotive Chase. And here we are at the end of the chase at Ringgold. All right, we'll continue on up to the second level of the town here. It is a beautiful January day, a gray day, kind of chilly, but not too bad out here. All right, great. Look at that tree. It's huge. Very southern looking. Then on the second level here, we have the amphitheater I was referring to, the United Bank Amphitheater. And this amphitheater does host some concerts. Usually they are free for families. I know one that happened last March that, you know, it happened on a weekend. I had like a ton of other stuff going on, unfortunately. Seemed like everything was that weekend, but they had Loverboy. And if you're not familiar with them, they did the songs Turn Me Loose, Working for the Weekend, probably their best two well-known songs. My favorite song of theirs is Notorious. If you've never heard it, you know, look it up. Your favorite music streamer, I'm sure, has it. You know, it opens up with like na 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 Notorious. So it's catchy, and it's a great opener. And has this beautiful backdrop, this stone backdrop with City of Kennesaw on it. Love to see a concert here sometime. Like I said, it just hasn't worked out quite yet. Here we are, front stage. Then coming down from the stage, we have this little bridge over here, which I have personally never been on. So we're gonna go see what's on the other side. It might just take you to some apartments, but you know, don't know until you go over and try. Lots of nice space here though, you know, benches, just, you know, if you're on your lunch break and you work nearby, be a great place to come and relax, or in the evenings, you know, hopefully when it's a little bit warmer than today, you know. Of course, Georgia, you know, one day it could be 40, the next day it could be, you know, low 70s again. Oh, and don't forget the doggy stations. Always important, just like we saw in our Mabry Park video. All right, so here is this neat looking bridge. There's a little bit of water down there, not a whole lot. But yeah, this looks like this just takes us over to some apartments along this trail. It looks like we might have some sort of sculpture over here. Let's go check that out. Right, and this is actually pretty cool, and it's kind of hidden back here. Again, behind the bridge. This is called Balancing Birds by Preston Halliday. Let's see, it says, this piece is a reminder of how wonderful it is to see birds in motion, watching them move acrobatically through the air. This piece shows birds that call Georgia home, those that we may see frequently during the day or at night. And it looks like it's been put here by Smith Gilbert Gardens, which is another local attraction. But now I'm not going to attempt to name all these birds, but also I'm going to say maybe that it's either maybe a hawk or an owl. No, leave a comment in the comment section if you can name any of these birds. You're probably better at it than me. I know that one's a robin and then a blue jay. Very cool, and it looks like this might actually spin, maybe. Nope, bolted down. But still, you know, birds in balance here. And we're back on the other side of the stage now, and over there across the street is the Southern Museum of Civil War and Locomotive History. That is where the general is housed. It's a very cool museum if you've never been. Not going to go there today, but we will be going there in a future video. And, you know, so we'll take in more of it then. But definitely one of the center attractions here in the city of Kennesaw. Alright, we are now on the other side of the main road, right next to a apartment complex, or I guess you call it mixed use, right on the main strip here, which is would be really fun to live at, and have all this right within walking distance. See, right here we have Honeysuckle Biscuits and Bakery. Eaten there several times. They have great biscuits. They actually have a buffalo chicken biscuit that I like a lot. Also have homemade donuts, which are awesome, and they actually supply our church with their little coffee shop with donuts. And right next door to Honeysuckle we have Gus's Fried Chicken. That is world famous. I've never eaten there, but it must be good if it's world famous. Looks like they have corn nuggets. Take a walk over here. I've never been here, but I've kind of been intrigued by this next place, and this is tied in with the theme of the college here, Kennesaw State University. That's where I graduated from way back in 2007. Their mascot is the owl, or owls rather, and this is the Horned Owl Brewing restaurant, and currently not open. It is a little bit early in the morning, and always seemed like a neat place to go, so might have to check that out sometime. Not much of a drinker myself, but I love what they call bar food, so. And then coming up a little bit on our left here, we do have shopping center with some different shops in there. And then we have this restaurant on the corner, which is, again, always looked really neat with their aesthetic here. Haven't really had a chance to visit many of these restaurants, at least not yet. Might be something I need to make a point to do. But this is Paisanos. And then over on the other side where we were originally, got Main Street Eats and 1885 Grill, which are two more restaurants to enjoy down here in the area. Make our way down the other end of the main strip here in Kennesaw. I believe this used to be a building here, and they've done so much construction and improvements here in Kennesaw, hard for me to remember. Of course, one thing they're known for is the Big Shanty festival. Occurs every year around the springtime, and hopefully we'll be able to come and enjoy that this year. Some older storefronts here. Kind of like the design of this though. Scoot back some. And we are coming up on one of the more controversial aspects of downtown Kennesaw, and that is this store called Wildman's. Now, I'm not going to get into it, but they sell mostly Civil War related merchandise, usually skewing more toward the southern side. I've heard conflicting things, whether it's open, closed. I believe it's currently closed. I don't know if that's for good or temporarily, but I'll let you look up the debates on that. You know, love it or hate it, it's one of the things here. It looks like there's actually a gun shop that's open here. Actually, that might be Wildman's, so maybe it is open. Can't really tell online. But we also have these closed storefronts here that are very historic looking. Love the red brick on this one. And then this one, I like the doors. Like, you can imagine some sort of restaurant or even bar going in there. But sure won't be vacant for too long. And then down on this end of the strip, you got barbershop. Is cool. It actually has one of the poles outside. It's not spinning, but they do have one. And oh, I like that stained glass artwork they even have outside with the poles. Adds to the charm of the area. And this is the Kennesaw Station Business Center. So there's also a hair salon, so, you know, grooming for men and women. And we got a pizzeria is at Vesuvio. And it looks like they actually have a trailer for events. Like I said, maybe for the Big Shanty Festival and other stuff around here. And one thing I don't think I really gave the full impact of here is that, you know, I mentioned there's a lot of locomotive history with the city of Kennesaw. The train tracks run directly through town here. And when a train comes, well, speaking of rumbling, anyways, it you know, shakes a lot of the area, and you know when there's a train, but you can see that's kind of the main intersection. You can see where the train comes right through. And, again, some of the charm here in Kennesaw. And if you like to get to know more about the downtown area of Kennesaw, here's some information. You can follow and tag. You know, find out about the latest happenings and events going on in town here. All right, so that is a quick tour of the downtown Kennesaw area. Hope you enjoyed. Again, more to see than what I showed you on this video, so feel free to take the trip, especially on the weekend. Things tend to be more open then, and again, we'll have to come back, check out that museum. If you enjoyed this video, of course, please give it a like, and you can subscribe to my channel for more videos from Peach State Prime. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for your time and for watching the video. God bless, and I hope you have a great day.